Hi, it's Alexis Hasselberger, time management and productivity coach. Now, if you have been watching my videos for any amount of time now, you have probably noticed I talk a lot about systems, specifically about task systems. So having a system for all of your tasks, all the things that you have to do so that you don't have to keep it in your head anymore. But I'll be honest, a lot of times when people hear me talking about systems, they start thinking, that seems like an awful lot of work, right? I've tried task systems in the past and just was a lot of updating and, it just felt like a lot. And then everything was overdue and I stopped looking at it and it just became this big thing that felt like it wasn't worth the time or effort. And I have seen that happen for sure. But I want to talk about systems because I want you to think about your system in a little bit of a different way. And I'm going to tell you and share with you some ways to make sure that your system is much less work than you actually think that it might be. So I want you to think of your system like a buoy of some sort, something that is lifting you up and helping you move down the river, right? So think of it like a big inner tube. Let's say you want to go on a lazy river, you want to just sit there, lounge on a nice inner tube and go down, right? You want that supporting you, but it doesn't come out of the box like that. Out of the box, you have to take it out. You have to start blowing, right? You have to start blowing that inner tube up so that it becomes full of air so that it can support your weight, right? And then once you have done that, then you have a system. Then you have something that supports you. But it does take a little bit of time. It does take a little bit of effort in the beginning to get it going, right? And as you're blowing up this inner tube, you might, take in a deep breath and then some air gets, let out of that inner tube and we feel like, oh, well, that was a waste. But we keep going, and eventually it gets filled, and eventually we can sit on it, and eventually it is holding us up, right? Now, this is very much like a task system. Follow me here, right? This is very much like a task system because what a task system doing is providing that infrastructure to buoy you, to support you while you do the things, right? If you are just treading water, you don't have any kind of support system, no inner tube, you can't really see above, right? You don't know what's coming next. You can't see around the bend. You are just literally trying to stay where you are. You're trying to grasp and stay where you are. If you have a buoy underneath you, now you're a little more relaxed, right? Your head is above water without you even trying because you did that work in the beginning, right? You are able to look around. You are able to see what might be coming up around the bend and you are able to prepare for it. You're able to do this with a lot less effort than it would be if you were trying to, swim, to tread water and to try to see above while also treading water at the same time. So when you set up a system, of course, there is going to be some amount of time and effort that it takes to get it going. But once you have it going, it is now the thing that supports you instead of the other way around. Now, sometimes, right, we said people, you try out a task system, it doesn't work for whatever reason, and you kind of abandon it, right? This has happened to a lot of us. I call it the graveyard of abandoned task apps, right? But there are a few ways to make sure that that is not your fate. Right? So if you are using a task system, there are 3 things that I want to share with you that can really make it or break it. So the first one is you want to ensure your system is complete. So you don't want just some of the things that you have to do in your system. You want all of the things that you have to do in your system. Because otherwise, when you're planning, when you're prioritizing, you're only working with partial data. And so you'll plan something and then you won't be able to make it happen. And you'll think it's your fault when really it's just the fact that, there was other stuff going on. We didn't really think all about it. We were only thinking about, 10% of what's actually on our plate. And so it wasn't a proper plan to begin with, right? So you want to make sure that everything you need to do is in your system. Now, another thing that you can do is to make it convenient, right? So humans, we like to do easy things. We are creatures of convenience. And so make your task system convenient to you. What this means is spending a little bit of time making sure that you get all the integrations set up that would work for you. So email integrations, Slack integrations, browser integrations, things that will make it much easier for you to access your task system and to use it, having it be something that doesn't feel like, oh, you have to do it later, right? Or keep it up to date. Having it convenient, accessible all the time, making sure the app is on your phone and that it's, within thumb's reach. You don't have to search for it. It's on the home screen. Making sure that, if you can connect it to your Alexa or your Google Home, that you're doing that if you feel comfortable doing so, right? Making sure that it is convenient and easy for you to use. The easier something is to use, the less friction there is, the more likely you are to use it. And the third thing is that anytime you're using a task system, if you have spent that time and effort to get it up to, get it set up in the first place, then you want to make sure that you're keeping it up to date. You don't want to have update my task list be an item on your task list. We are already in a losing position if we're there, right? We don't want to be opening it once a day or opening it once a week and saying, oh no, I didn't do all of this stuff. We want it open 100% of the time. And we want to be following essentially this track. We want to go open a task, do the task, update the task, move on to the next task, right? When we do this, our system is always up to date. And that means that we don't have to get to the end of the day and think, oh, I have to update my system. Or we don't have to get into that kind of position where we haven't looked at it in a while and we are too scared to look at it because there's just a whole bunch of stuff we probably haven't done. And we really would like to pretend that that wasn't happening, right? If you update as you go, if you update all the time, not only are you saving time in the long run, because you're only thinking about it once while you're doing it and not, again while you're updating it, but your system will be this engine that drives your work. It'll be the thing that propels you forward. It will be the buoy underneath you. It will be that inner tube, allowing you to do all of the other things, right? Freeing up your mind to do all of the things because you are not treading water so hard just trying to stay above. So I hope this metaphor is helpful to you. It's something that I think about a lot. If you have other metaphors or other ways that you think about task systems or things that buoy or support you, share them in the comments. I would love to hear them. And if you like this kind of content, make sure to subscribe.
Like you said, make sure to subscribe. As you can see, only 17.3% of the people that watch our videos are actually subscribed. So it'd be a big help if you click that subscribe button.